Borough Council meeting of January 27th, 2025. Please join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Ms. Zupan?
Councilmember Branch?
Here.
Councilmember Jamboy?
Here.
Councilmember Hyman?
Here.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Here.
Council President Delia?
Here.
Mayor Bush?
Here. We have a motion to open the agenda session.
I make a motion to open the agenda session.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The agenda session is now open. Is there anything for the agenda session?
Nothing from me, Mayor.
Nothing from the council president. Anything else from anyone else? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to close the agenda session?
I move to close the agenda session.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. At this time, I'd like to see Kevin B. Coleman, please, right at the front of the room with any family or others. Grandma?
Kelly.
Or whomever you'd like up.
Let's go front.
Likewise.
Yes.
The Bible. Yep.
Oh, not either. Yes, okay, yes.
Who do we want where? Who's holding the Bible?
Sissy will hold the Bible.
Okay, so why don't you stand over here? Because it's, A, we're trying to get him sworn in, we also want a nice picture. So you stand over here?
Okay.
Yes. Where do you want to go?
Grandma, you can come right here, Grandma. Yeah. And then Kelly, you can come right next to Grandma. Yeah, that's fine. So, you got that side. I kept one, so, all right, got the Bible on the other side.
The right side.
I'm going to stand over here this time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yes.
You're going to repeat after me, okay?
All right.
That's a maneuvering going on. For pictures? Okay. I, Kevin B. Coleman,
I, Kevin B. Coleman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
and the ordinances of
and the ordinance of
the Borough of Metuchen,
the Borough of Metuchen,
and obey all the rules
and obey all the rules
and regulations
and regulations
and lawful orders of
and lawful orders of
the Metuchen Police Department,
the Metuchen Police Department,
faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Metuchen Borough Police Officer,
Metuchen Borough Police Officer,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, officer.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You can try your best. All right. You can try.
Grandma?
All right, it doesn't have to be perfect. Good enough. Looks good. Yeah, good enough.
Okay, just when you have a chance, officer, if you can just sign right here.
Absolutely.
That's okay. We'll let the chief deal with that. He'll figure it out.
Good enough.
You're official?
All right.
Chief, say.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a second.
Kevin, you got to stay up here and take this. So first of all, I'd like to thank the council again, the mayor, the BA, for another process of going through and hiring another officer. Some of you have seen Kevin on some pictures on Insta already. He started the academy in August. Went through the the old-fashioned way where we send someone to the academy. Not that anyone else didn't do it that way, but we sent someone to the academy. Graduated January, and he's been on the road since then. The one thing about Kevin is he's a lifelong resident, like a few of us are. Graduated Metuchen High School in 2015 with my son Artie. So Kevin pretty much grew up in my backyard. He grew up on Dorm Avenue, about 10 houses down. So I got to see the entourage of his dad, his mom, and the 8 of them walking down every day not every day, but every weekend to St. Francis for church. And they didn't miss a mass, and Kevin was probably the last one, always dad's whipping him up on it. I will say that I know that his parents are both looking down at the Klan, and couldn't be any more proud of you, I'm sure of that. Like I said, he graduated 2015 Metuchen High School. He is in the prestigious club of 100 wrestling wins. Not many people reach that plateau. He also had one professional fighting match or a bout, and he won by knockout. So there are a lot of interesting things about Kevin. He brings a lot of knowledge about this town, old school knowledge, something that he'll be able to tell us about the history a long time coming, much like some of the other guys that are Metuchenites. So I couldn't be more proud of you, Kev, and I'm looking forward to you serving this borough well, like I know you will.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Swearing in police officers isn't the kind of thing you imagine when you take the position of being mayor, but it's one of the greatest honors that I have to be able to do that. And in this, in working with our department, which is, we always say it, but clearly one of the best law enforcement departments in the state of New Jersey, one of the most closely connected with its community. Our work with this department continues. We have the most number of officers that this borough has had since the 1970s, which I consider to be an outstanding accomplishment, reflective of the work we're doing together to accommodate the needs that we have. And it's these kinds of relationships that are reflected in the work we do together. But with respect to Officer Coleman, if I could just say, I can't emphasize enough how important it was for us to be able to recruit one of our own. For someone who grew up, and in our conversation, I think a couple months ago, before you hit the academy in Cape May, one of the things that was just so wonderful to hear was the fact that you grew up here wanting to one day be a police officer in this town. And the idea of us seeing you achieve that dream is very inspiring. Not to mention, I saw you wrestle a little bit and certainly help my son a couple years ago. I don't even know if you remember that you coached my son. And it's just wonderful to see someone from Metuchen grow up wanting to be an officer and have the opportunity to achieve that in front of all your fellow residents. Welcome, although I know you've always been here, but we're proud to have you. So thank you again. Brandon's going to have you. If Brandon's going to, you're going to hear from it later if you don't grab that microphone, Chief. Okay.
There's a big commitment to building this town up, and we're moving forward, and there's a lot of building going on, but you haven't forgot the little things. This council has been behind DPW, our schools in effect have done things, and our police department has grown with it, and we appreciate that. That means a lot to us. It means a lot to our morale, and you can see it when they're out there and they're policing and they get involved. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chief. We appreciate that. So at this time, I presume that some of you at least aren't here to see the rest of this council meeting, and that you're so proud of your family member or friend or just fellow resident. But I'm going to invite everyone who's not staying for the rest of the council meeting. You're all free to do so. We'd love to have you, but if you have other places to be or somewhere to be, we'll invite you to leave now. And if you could just keep the noise down. I know everyone's excited, but we can keep the noise down until you get outside. It's not as cold as it's been the last couple of days. Thank you very much. Okay. At this time, we're going to open the floor to public comment. Anyone from the council chambers that's remaining who wishes to address the council, the microphone is yours. If you could just give your name and address for the record, please.
Either one?
Either one.
Hi, it's Mark Flaherty, 44 New York Avenue. So, Mayor,
Just hold, excuse me, Mr. Flaherty, if you could just for a second.
Okay.
This always happens when a group of people leaves, so they're, talking on their way out, which we understand. But I'd like you to have your full opportunity.
You might want to keep it off for pictures.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Chief, if you could close that door, we'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Flaherty, you may continue.
yeah, so thank you for posting videos from the mayor's convention. That was interesting. You mentioned discussing ideas for protecting us from an all-Republican federal government. Maybe you could share the ideas that you've come up with so far?
You say that I shared ideas, what? Just repeat.
You discussed sharing ideas among other mayors about how to protect us in New Jersey, and Metuchen particularly, from an all-Republican federal government.
Okay, so is that your only question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll respond. Thank you. So I didn't specifically say that I was looking to protect Metuchen, nor were the other mayors looking to protect their towns from an all-Republican federal government. We were talking about the issues that the federal government raised, or the new federal government raised for us as community leaders. It was a bipartisan group. It always is with the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I have some people I've become friendly with on both sides of the aisle. And the purpose of that conference really is they have two major meetings a year. There's one that is in a different location throughout the country each year. Last year was in Kansas City. I think this year is somewhere in Florida. That's in the spring, but the one in Washington is in January every year. And the purpose of that meeting is for local mayors of all varying sizes to interact with the federal office holders. And last year, the meeting was the first one I went to, and I found it to be extraordinary. The sessions, the discussions, they were great. They were helpful, they were informative, they were federal officials, cabinet officials, legislators from, again, both sides of the aisle, spending a lot of time in the lobby, just talking. The access was incredible. The opportunity to speak about the issues you have and then share those with other people was great. This year was very different. It was a very helpful conference in talking about what was going on, but there was a feeling by, again, mayors on both sides of the aisle that there's something new going on in Washington. And I think there was a feeling that perhaps there was a concern over what to expect. And I think that's probably true. I haven't been here before during other experiences with transitions of administrations, but with this particular administration, with some of the threats, some of the rhetoric that's been said over the last, however long, and with some of that actually being executed in the week or so since the new president has taken over, I think there's a feeling of a need to at least be ready for aspects of federal involvement in local government that we hadn't previously experienced. And so as a leader in this community, it's my responsibility to work with our council members to make sure that we have preparation and response to whatever's out there, whether it's a Democrat in the White House, a Republican in the White House. In Metuchen, we take care of our own. We're going to work hard. I'll take guidance from working with other mayors, but none of my response to what I experienced was specific to a Republican administration, but it certainly was in response to this administration. At this time, I don't see any other members of the public wishing to address us. I'm going to move on to council meeting minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. I make a motion to approve Borough Council meeting minutes of December 9th, 2024.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Yes, I abstain. I was not here.
Thank you very much. So for the record, Ms. Jumboy abstains.
Thank you,
Councilman?
Mayor. I make a motion to approve communications consent agenda items A through D.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Council President?
Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2025-02 by title only?
Ordinance 2025-02, ordinance amending the code of the Borough of Metuchen and the composition of the Arts Council.
Okay, at this time, we are going to open public hearing on ordinance 2025-02, the second ordinance that we've had introduced this year. Anybody wishing to address 2025-02 from the public? Okay, seeing none, we're going to close public hearing on 2025-02.
I make a motion to pass ordinance 2025-02 on second reading and publish according to law.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please. Ms. Zupan?
Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Jamboy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'm excited for this one. Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2025-03 by title only?
Let's see. Ordinance 2025-03, ordinance of the Borough of Metuchen authorizing execution of a rights-of-way agreement between the Borough of Metuchen and Comcast of New Jersey, 2 LLC, to permit the installation, use, and maintenance of cable television and telecommunications facilities within public rights-of-way for purposes of providing cable television and telecommunication services.
Thank you. I move that ordinance 2025-03 be passed on first reading, published according to law, and a public hearing set down for Monday, February 10th, 2025.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Before I ask for a roll call on this is a big one. I mean, we have a lot of sort of maintenance ordinances, like the last one with respect to the number of residents that we have on our Arts Council, but this one is something we've been working on for a long time, and I'm really proud of our administration for pushing through some of the legal issues that we have with complicated infrastructure matters like this, because yes, cable and internet is infrastructure. It's something that I have heard repeatedly from the moment I became mayor, and I'm sure that you as council members have heard it all the time as well. I know the council president and I have discussed this at length over the years, but having another provider, whatever people's opinions are of the specific providers, having a choice in this town is huge. We're not there yet because they have to lay wires first, but now that Comcast is coming, and I think their product is actually called Xfinity, although I don't know for sure, and we'll learn more. But it's important to be able to have choice. It's important to have competition. It's important to have something that will help us know that there's a place to turn when there's no service. I'll never forget the conversations I had with residents during the pandemic about the only choice that they had when they were frustrated and working from home. And as residents continue to work from home, although certainly in diminished numbers, I know that internet has become even more significant than ever, and it will just continue to do so. So I'm just really, really excited, and I appreciate Comcast for working with us. I appreciate the council members for bearing with us, and I appreciate the administration and our council for working on this agreement with Comcast to allow this to happen. So anything from anyone else on this? No?
Could I just
Yeah,
ask a question?
Councilmember.
So I recently had a question from a resident whose phone line didn't work anymore. So when the person from, her service came, they said they were not repairing copper wires anymore, and they wanted her to get a box that supposedly was going to help her get phone service. But the person said to her that the borough said that Verizon Fios could not come in, which I did not think was true. And based on how hard you have worked on this, I would imagine that the person who came to service her home may have been just saying that to her.
Yeah, there's no
You
truth.
know.
There's no truth to that at all.
I'm sure not.
I'll just say this, is that I remember speaking to former Mayor O'Brien. That's how far back this goes. The former Mayor O'Brien was talking to me a number of years ago about what they felt was a huge accomplishment when they got Verizon, if you will, to come in and install Fios in town. And then Fios as a business model changed. So, I'm not an expert on telecommunications or, the status of this, but I understand that it cost a significant amount of money for a company like Verizon to install the infrastructure necessary to begin providing the service. And when they started doing the cost-benefit analysis, and they did that cost-benefit analysis, or at least the one that they made them determine they were going to either slow down their development or stop their development of the Fios program, was before they ended up actually doing the work in Metuchen. Never was there a time where we told Verizon Fios that they couldn't come here. And I can tell you, without speaking to Mayors Camerano or Mayor Vahala, that no one would ever do that, because all the residents want is a choice. And if there was an opportunity to bring in Fios, then great. And again, the Fios technology, from what I could tell, and we have people who know a lot more about technology on this council than I, is already being outpaced by the ones available through Optimum and through Comcast. So, we welcome as much competition as possible. There was also this myth of a monopoly in town that the council president and I have discussed, where the idea was that people just assumed that only one cable provider could be here at a time. It's just not true. It's just that for whatever business reason, the cable and internet providers made a business decision to not, spend the money on infrastructure in places like Metuchen to create that competition. For whatever reason, that calculation has changed. And now that Comcast is coming to Metuchen, we're thrilled to have them, just like we're thrilled to have our current provider. And the two of them can hopefully provide even better service and opportunities to all the residents who may not have otherwise had them.
Good.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the council members? Okay. Seeing none, we've had a motion and a second. And at this point, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Do we have I think we had a roll call on that one already.
No.
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 We did not.
Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Jamboy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, on to the report of the Borough Administrator.
Yeah, I actually have some things to say tonight. I'll be quick. Delay, there's going to be delay. Grove Avenue Bridge is being replaced by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. It was slated to happen as soon as school closed in 2025. But when they went out to bid, all of the vendors who bid on the contract had said the time frame was too short for them to get all of the materials that they needed, so it's been pushed to 2026. So that is delayed. It will result in 10 weeks of a full closure on Grove Avenue. So we don't have that to look forward to for this summer. It'll be next summer. The next thing is, I just want to remind all of the residents, if they have a SOAR backup or SOAR emergency, they need to make sure that if it's after hours, they should call the non-emergent police number, which is 732-632-8500. Someone had recently had an issue, and I was getting ready to leave for the evening. It was 5 o'clock, and they emailed me. This is not the method to get a quick response. Normally what happens is dispatch, when you call that number, they will get the information and they will dispatch our DPW who are on call for SOAR-related issues. So I just make sure, please call the number. Do not send an email. It's not the most expedient way to get your issues resolved. And when it comes to SOAR and sewage, you want that taken care of pretty quickly. The next is just a reminder, with the snow that's upon us now, we do have an ordinance in place that requires that you shovel your sidewalk and do snow removal within a 24-hour period after the snow has completed its falling. So please make sure that everyone does that. And it's really important, especially on those main thoroughfares, Main Street, Amboy Avenue, where people use that to walk to the train and other, it's important for everyone who has a sidewalk, but most importantly, for those main thoroughfares. And I just remind people, because we will be doing enforcement to make sure that people comply with our code enforcement group. And then lastly, on February 6th, we are going to be holding our CDBG public meeting to solicit feedback from the public on how we should use our CDBG funds, which is a federal grant. There's specific categories. The past couple of years, we've used it mostly to renovate bathrooms at the library. We use some money to renovate the bathrooms at the senior center. But we have these public meetings every year to solicit feedback and input from the public. So please come out. It's at 10 a.m. here in council chambers. Again, February 6th, 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one update. Lunar New Year begins on January 29th, and on Saturday, February 1st, between 12:30 and 2 o'clock, the MDA is going to be celebrating Lunar New Year with music and dancers. They've done this a few years now, and it's always a really great time. So if you are around on Saturday between 12:30 and 2, come downtown, check out the festivities, spend some money, and that's my update.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Candell, she's not here. Councilmember Jethwani.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple notices about the Metuchen Libraries is in the process of a 3-year strategic plan development and wants input from the public via community survey. So you can visit the library webpage for a link to the survey or a QR code. Individuals can also take the survey while they're in the library. And all of this is to help make sure the library is providing valuable services to the community and identifying areas of improvement. Everyone who participates will be entered in a drawing to win an Apple iPad mini, so some incentive there. A couple of events were also related to Lunar New Year at the library, Saturday, February 1st at 2 p.m. The Korean Spirit and Culture Promotion Project will be there to help individuals make lotus lanterns. Materials will be provided, and registration is required for that. And then on Saturday, February 8th, in celebration of Black History Month, at 2 p.m., the library will present an interactive music concert exploring the vibrant sounds of Mardi Gras in New Orleans, featuring the Patrick Harrison Trio. And all are welcome, registration's encouraged. And just a note that tickets are now on sale for the Friends of the Metuchen Library Get Lit event. The theme is Drinking Detectives. It'll be held Saturday, February 22nd from 3 to 5 at Haley's. And we encourage people to buy tickets early since this event is pretty much always sold out. And just want to mention that last Thursday, the Historic Preservation Committee, soon to be renamed committee met for the first time this year with 4 new members. And while the group is still getting its bearings and orienting to the ongoing efforts of the committee, the members are really energized and looking forward to developing new ideas and priorities. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilmember Hyman?
Thank you. The parade committee met on Tuesday, January 21st, to discuss what they learned from their holiday parade, which was, thank goodness, the first parade they had since 2021, and it was very successful. They especially enjoyed all the entertainment that they hired and found that to be really enriching the event, not the parade, and the event that happened on the plaza. Now they're planning, can you believe it, the Memorial Day Parade, which will happen at 10 a.m. on Monday, May 26th. They agreed on the theme, which will be Hometown Heroes, hopefully complementing the celebration of Metuchen's 125th birthday on March 20th of this year. We've suggested incorporating this milestone into the parade, perhaps having a float to showcase large printouts of the town through the years. So they're looking, they're exchanging ideas, really excited and planning already for Memorial Day Parade. They're reaching out to some of the entertainers, including the Tinsel Tunes, for ideas of what they can participate in for the Memorial Day Parade. And they will soon be contacting the art teachers for all the schools regarding the poster contests. I know it's cold, but yes, we're planning for Memorial Day Parade. The next meeting for the parade committee will be on February 18th at 7:15 here at the Borough. The CARES Committee successfully has launched, in cooperation with Wellspring, their Strengthening Families program. The first session was last Thursday, but they do have room for more families. The program is for families with children aged 10 to 14, and it will occur on the next 6 Thursdays at from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's an interactive program meant to improve communication, handle stress, build trust with the families. Each session will begin with a family dinner. If you are interested, if you know a family that might be interested, you can reach out to Heather Ward of Wellspring. Again, it's Heather Ward, and her number is 732-254-3344, extension 120, or reach out to me and I'll help you get in touch with her. The next meeting of the CARES Committee will be Wednesday, March 12th at 7:15. And the next Board of Health meeting will be Thursday, March 13th at 7:30 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilmember John Boy?
Okay, the Shade Tree Commission has their spring planting lined up. We have 41 confirmed trees on the list. So we're very excited about getting those into the ground, and I'll let you know when they're going to be exactly having the planting. And the Environmental Commission had their reorganization meeting, and they elected Abby Nakvi as the new chair, and we also welcomed new member Thomas Coughlin. And he's the representative from the planning board who also sits on the environmental commission that keeps the environmental commission, up to date on activities going on with the planning board. The seniors will be meeting February 12th at 4 p.m. at the Senior Center. And I would also like to remind people that anyone aged 60 and older is welcome to join the Senior Center. It's free from Metuchen residents, and they have a lot of activities. They have exercise classes. They have a monthly birthday party luncheon. They have trips and an art class on Thursdays, and they also have ceramics. So come on down and maybe take a little visit, see if it's something you'd be interested in joining. And also, as usual, I want to include the food bank at the Presbyterian Church. Things that they need currently are peanut butter and jelly. They need canned meat and fish like Spam and chicken and tuna. Believe it or not, SpaghettiOs are high on the list. A cereal, coffee, and personal grooming items because they are not covered by SNAP benefits. They do not cover personal items for hygiene and whatever, and that's my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilmember Branch.
Thank you. I haven't had Spam in a long time.
Buy one, donate one.
I know, yeah, I should. Okay, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First update from the Metuchen Arts Council. It's once again participating in the multi-town Windows of Understanding project. Metuchen contribution is about taking care of our planet and is being created by our local Girl Scouts under the guidance of Metuchen teaching artist Joseph Casanova. The work will hang at Berkshire Hathaway on Middlesex Avenue with a reception on February 22nd from noon to 3 p.m. So please make sure to catch that. Human Relations Commission, celebrating Black History Month. The subcommittee was comprised of the high school liaisons to the HRC. They've created 15 profiles of modern, prominent people to highlight in businesses downtown. So when you're downtown during the month of February, take a look at those portraits. HRC would also like to remind everybody that today is anniversary of liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau. Don't know if I got that correct. Okay.
Yep.
So United Nations General Assembly designated January 27th the anniversary of liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau in 1945 as International Holocaust Remembrance Day, a time to remember the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust and the millions of other victims of Nazi persecution. Last updates from the Recreation Commission. They announced that registration for the Sweetheart Dance is open. As my daughter reminds me all the time. So you will see me there if you register. Please go to the borough website under spring activities. That's my report.
Great, thank you, Councilmember. This has been an extraordinary month for accomplishment in the borough, and I just don't, like to spend that much time on my report, but I'm going to say, in addition to the Comcast matter, which I'll skip over because we just went over that and how important that was to be able to bring some, competition. We also finally filed a condemnation proceeding against the owner of the gas station. It's the last resort. I explained this on social media to the public, but it's certainly a last resort. But the property's polluted. The owner did not, come to the table as the way we had hoped over the last 6 years. There would be times where we felt like we were at the 10-yard line, the 5-yard line, and then another football field was built for us. And it was just so frustrating. And now that things are really moving along with the Forum Theater, we decided that it was finally time, after fair warning of over a year and a half ago, where this council adopted an ordinance permitting us to move forward as needed after an additional round of good faith negotiations by the borough. So the gas station issue will be resolved in the next few months, we expect. Number one, maybe a year. Number two is, speaking of the Forum Theater, tomorrow night is the first public session for the Forum Theater. We put a tremendous amount of time into ensuring that is a productive conversation with residents. They'll have an opportunity to really, truly interact with representatives from throughout the borough and also people from the state and the county. We have the Middlesex County coming and the arts program there. We have representatives from the EDA, the Economic Development Authority, will be there. We have representatives from DevCo, our redeveloper, on this. We've got the Metuchen Downtown Alliance. We've got people from the Arts Council who I'll be talking to after this meeting, because they're meeting simultaneously, I understand, Councilmember Branch, right now.
Yes,
And-
indeed.
And we have so many different opportunities to interact with this project, that if you're at all interested in either the project itself or the aspects of the projects or the ripple effects of the project or anything with this project, come. Okay, we also have our planners there. They'll be helping and guiding. It's going to be similar to like a museum format where you show up, similar to what we did with Golden a number of years ago, which we found to be tremendously successful, and it's become almost a model for other regional community events like these, and we're proud of that. It starts off with a 10 or so minute description of everything, an overview, just like when you see that movie when you enter the museum and then you get let out in the museum to interact and give yourself some context. And then there'll be stations, like a science fair type model around the gymnasium at Edgar Middle School. But it's 6:30 to 8:30, Tuesday and Thursday. I'll surprise them with that. Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30 to 8:30. And I really, really encourage you to be there. And people have asked, do I have to be at both of them? No. Do I have to be for all of them? For all of it? No. Come as you can. We're doing it on 2 nights intentionally, get as many people as possible. We'll do as much as we can to sort of capture it, but and put it on a recording through Metuchen Media. But it's really intended to be interactive. So if you could be there, please be there, because we need the feedback to be able to take our next steps. It's incredibly important. So that's that, and we're really looking forward to it. The next thing is the Metuchen is America initiative, which is really gaining steam. I was really excited when I showed up at my son's Metuchen floor hockey game at the frozen tundra of Charles Field parking lot, which, very cold in those sweatshirts, but the kids are having a great time, and all the sweatshirts have the Metuchen is America patch, and we're working with other recreational programs to integrate that into their 2025 and even 26 activities. Just to remind everyone, Metuchen is America is designed to be almost a 2-year celebration of Metuchen and its role in America. And the concept is that, Metuchen is literally half America's age. We're going to be 125 on March 20th, and you look at that seal, you'll see our birthday is March 20th, 1900. So we'll be 125 this year, and then the United States, and the semi-sesquicentennial will be 250 on July 4th, 2026. And we're trying, I finally got the word right. I know. Worked on that at the mayor's conference, actually. And the idea is that we are trying to show where Metuchen is, and we're just a quintessential American town, and then how we're projecting ourselves forward in the future. So there's going to be all kinds of observance and celebration of that. We really hope people appreciate it and get involved. So if you're an organization or you're any part of this town in different ways, we'd love to engage you in that process. Of course, the snowstorm, which was sort of a storm. We've had worse, knock wood, but our chief is here, and we work closely together as he doubles as our Office of Emergency Management Coordinator. We worked very, very well this year. I was really impressed with our DPW, who came out, just the timing was right, pre-salting. We worked really closely. We got to everyone. It wasn't a huge storm, but it was a great way to start off the year when we haven't had much in prior years, so I'm really proud of that. And people have asked me, it must be interesting to be the mayor during a snowstorm, and my response to that is it's a lot less relaxing, I think, than other people who tend to enjoy cooking and whatever else they do to watch movies or catch up with their family. But I appreciate the chief, the head of, also doubles as the Office of Emergency Management, for letting me harass him in the hours leading up to the storm to find out what the latest weather report is, and his wife in particular, who's sitting next to him, for pulling him away from that stuff. And again, just to reiterate, the conference that I went to, it was really a great opportunity to be in DC and mingle with colleagues, and I appreciate that opportunity. There's a lot of still concern as to what's going on in the federal government right now, and just to make sure that we're carefully monitoring it. Obviously, the state of New Jersey is issuing guidance in different areas like immigration and other from other perspectives, but we are going to be working closely together as mayor and council and community members to ensure that as people become aware of some of the impacts, that we're at least ready to respond, whatever that way may be. And hopefully we can focus local and continue to focus on the things that matter to us. But, obviously it's, you would also have to account for the fact that there are people in our community who are anxious right now. It's something that we just have to come to terms with, and we want to make sure that people feel like they're being supported accordingly. With that, I'm going to move on to the new business consent agenda. Council President.
Well said, Mayor. I make a motion to approve the new business consent agenda resolutions 2025-67 to 2025-85.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-86, authorizing the payment of the bill list in the amount of $8,238,055.74.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Been a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Good month, everyone. Thanks.